Welcome to Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement. Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost want to help you retire with purpose and live with joy. Find more information, including how to reach the team, in today's show notes. Now, Kickin' with the Rickens, powered by Ricken Financial.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening to Kickin' with the Rickens podcast. We are here with retirement planner Heidi Ricken Provost and licensed insurance professional Gerry Ricken. My name is Mark Owens. We invite you to get more at rickenfinancial.com. You can get all the information here in the show notes. Thanks again for subscribing. Now, let's get to the show. Gerry Ricken, Heidi Ricken Provost, how is this weekend treating you so far?
Fabulous. Absolutely
fabulous. Hey, it's a beautiful day.
As we get rolling here with this new adventure of Kickin' with the Rickens, now, you are already media stars, and I don't need you to be humble right now. I need you to promote yourself because you have a very popular, very informative podcast that's been out for a couple of years now. Tell me about Ricken Financial. Tell me about how this got started and the why of serving the community.
Oh, absolutely, Mark. As you know, we're a St. Louis-based entity, family-owned business, and we've been here for quite a while. I moved to St. Louis in 1995. Before that, I'm a recovering accountant, as I like to call myself. I got a degree in accounting from Kansas State University. And when you get a degree in accounting, you become your family's unpaid tax preparer for the rest of your life,
right?
Until your daughter joins you in business. But I've been preparing taxes and doing tax strategies since, in 1981. And when you do that, you focus a lot on what can happen in the future as opposed to what happened in the past, because when you're a tax preparer, it's just you're looking in the rearview mirror all the time. But I was in public accounting for several years, went into the mutual fund processing arena, met a young lady who I married, who is from St. Louis. Her last name's Kriegshauser. Her maiden name's Kriegshauser. They've been in the funeral business for a long time, for hundreds of years in St. Louis. What I'm doing now is working with my youngest daughter.
Right. We
had 3 daughters and a son. And what I love to do is help people in retirement or planning to retire, but primarily on the tax side, because we have a tax forward practice. And what we do is when I wanted to start Ricken Financial, I wanted to differentiate from other firms that I've seen, because I've used other firms a lot. Wasn't in this space for a long time in my career. But when I started Ricken Financial, I wanted to make sure that we looked for people to how to save taxes in the future, because there's the old adage, there are a couple things that are available in life or true in life, and that is death and taxes. And my wife's family has the death side figured out, so I just want to make sure that the tax side was figured out with Ricken Financial.
You got all bases covered.
So that's right. That's right.
And why do we call it Ricken Financial?
And we call it Ricken Financial because my dad was, my mom and dad, I grew up in South Central Kansas, one of 6 kids. Mom stayed at home until my youngest sister was school-aged, and then she went into the workforce. Mom and dad both had careers, and dad was a farmer originally, became a firefighter, and with a firefighter, he had a pension. And mom went into work as a cleaning lady and developed a pension as well. So they had, in their retirement, they were very successful because they never had a fear of running out of money, which is the biggest fear that most people have. But they had 2 Social Securities and 2 pensions, and they lived a comfortable life in retirement. They never had much money in savings or anything like that because they raised 6 kids on a shoestring budget. But one of the things that Dad always did is he always looked for entrepreneurial opportunities in his entire working career. He did all kinds of things, and one of the things that he did was he sold life insurance. And when he sold life insurance, they weren't large policies. They were very small policies, but he just wanted to make sure that he could help people and also make a little bit of money on the side to help support the family. Yeah. And his business was called Ricken Financial. So it's a tribute to him and the history that he had and the hard work that he had for his entire working career that we are now Ricken Financial.
So if we're going to name our business after anything, the best person in the world to name it after is my grandpa Willie. So we're honored that we get to carry on his legacy, because as he used to say, son, if you ever have the opportunity, you should talk about life insurance with people, because not only can it make you a little bit of money and a decent living, but it really helps out families for their future. And, that's something that we're honored to be able to do every day.
Heidi, did you know that this is what you wanted to do growing up? Following
Not even remotely. I won't even let you finish the question, Mark.
So talk to me. What led you down this path?
In 2001, our lives were changed because we lost my oldest sister to childhood cancer. She had a brain tumor, medulloblastoma. She fought very hard. She was a freshman in high school, and it really formed the future of everyone in my family. And when I was in college, I was volunteering at an organization that helped children affected by childhood cancer, whether they were themselves on treatment or a sibling of a kid. And I had quite a few girls one summer, 6 in my cabin. 4 of them had lost their sibling in the previous year. And I thought, okay, I need to be a grief counselor. This is really what God's calling me to. And I did a hands-on internship in grief counseling and realized this was not even remotely for me. And I'm talking to Dad, and he's like, hey, I could really use a little bit of help around the office. Can he just come? I had no idea what he did. This is my PSA. I had no clue what my dad did. I'm just going to be honest. Yeah. And he's like, can you just come help me out a little bit? While I was kind of searching for what do I really want to do, because this was bringing up too much of my own grief. So I sit here and I'm helping Dad out at the office here and there. First thing I said, by the way, is I'd love to help you, but I'm never going to work for you or with you. Spoiler alert. Yeah. I was wrong. In every facet.
It takes a big person to admit they're wrong, Heidi. So
yes. Yeah, you're welcome. I was wrong. You were right, Dad.
I'll save that. I'll clip that. I'll send that to you. Gerry,
hey, you guys, you can post that anywhere.
Yeah, we'll make that your ringtone moving forward, Gerry. So
yes.
That's perfect.
I'm helping Dad out at the office, and I realize he's helping people every single day, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know what arena I wanted to do it in. I thought it was going to be grief counseling, but I realized over time, what my dad does every single day is what I want to do because it was feeding my soul. And that's what our lives are all about. Whatever you do for a living, it needs to be feeding your soul and making the world a better place. I wanted to help more people like my dad. So here I am 15 years later, now his business partner, and we're developing a beautiful team together and a wonderful legacy for our future. Mm-hmm. And we get to help families plan for their financial future. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love every minute of it. And FYI, you can call me Ricken or whatever you want to call me. I do have 2 last names because you can't take the Ricken out of me. But right. I do love my husband. Mm-hmm. So Stephen, I love you. And that's why the Provost is in there too.
That's right.
But I'll answer to anything. So you're never going to offend me if you accidentally call me Ricken. RickenFinancial.com to meet Gerry, Heidi, and the entire team. And it's got to be exciting for you to be working alongside your daughter as well. Tell me what it's like, the emotions of having your daughter beside you in the good times and the bads of this industry.
Well, we have gone through some ups and downs in the industry since Heidi started working with me and now beside me. And it is challenging because when you enter a new environment, and she entered a new environment, we have a lot of jargon in our industry, a lot of acronyms in our industry, just learning the language, learning and then learning that and how to put that in real speak so that everyone can understand it. She's mastered that. And I'm very proud of her. In fact, she even spoke at one of the country's largest retirement or financial planning seminars, conferences in Boston recently for women. She was one of the speakers, and everybody was glowing about how she did on stage. And she has such a good people personality that people relax when they talk to her, and it's just a joy to see her growth from this fledgling college graduate who was searching for what she wanted to do to now an unbelievable young woman who is lighting the industry on fire.
And we're talking this weekend about the purpose approach that you offer the families in the community, helping you retire with purpose, live with joy. And to take advantage of that, keep this number close, 314-207-6211. So, Gerry, let's go a little bit deeper, peel back the curtain some. So somebody gives a call this weekend, sets up that initial no cost, no obligation consultation. What exactly is the question that you like to ask us on that initial consultation?
Well, after we get to know each other, Mark, a little bit and do our glad handing and have some social interaction, one of the things I like to ask is, do you know how much tax you're going to pay for the rest of your life? Because a lot of people are focused on what they paid last year. And oh my gosh, I paid so much in last year. I was surprised on April 15th when I had to cut that check. Or, oh my gosh, I got so much back. But what we focus on is what are you going to be paying in the future? And how can we minimize that future taxation in looking at everything that you do, every way that you're not only just income taxes, but all kinds of taxes. There are all kinds of taxes out there. Some of them are hidden from us.
Yeah.
But we focus on that.
Yeah.
Because what we want to do is see if when you come in this door, when you leave, after a few appointments, we want to see if we can get you tax-free eventually in retirement.
This also leads into conversations because at the end of the day, if you don't know how much you're going to pay in tax in the coming year, let alone for the rest of your life, we definitely need to have a conversation now because you have a couple months to plan for the rest of the year so that you don't have a surprise come tax time in April, because we never want that to be a negative surprise. So give us a call at 314-207-6211 and we'll see if we can help you get a better grasp on your taxation just starting with this year. If it seems like too much to think about the entire rest of your life, we need to at least have a good foundation here and make sure you're not going to have a nasty surprise from the IRS in April. So we'll start there, but then we're going to build on it together because it could be as simple as you're in retirement right now and you have some income coming in from your investments. Well, are you pulling from the correct accounts right now? Are you saving in the form of taxation by using the most tax efficient strategy for how you're going to pull your income from those investments? Or do you need to tweak just which investment you're going to pull the income from for the rest of this year so that, you have the best strategy even just for this year?
Because Mark, the IRS dictates a lot on not only how much we pay in taxes, but when we pay them and how we pay them, especially when you're in retirement and you're forced with those required minimum distributions, the RMDs of your qualified accounts, your IRAs, your 401ks. So what we want to make sure is what the impact of those are so that you can understand how much tax you're going to be paying in retirement. Some people actually will be paying more tax in retirement than they were while they were working. And that's counterintuitive that what we've all learned when the 401k got introduced and replaced the pension and the onus became the employee, not the employer on retirement planning, we were all told, hey, pay your tax now or don't pay your tax now because you get a little tax break now. But when you retire, you're going to pay less tax. We haven't seen that. We just simply haven't seen that. And if it feels like you're paying more tax now, you probably need to make that phone call to 314-207-6211 and have that chat and see what we can do prospectively on saving some of your tax in the future.
Well, and that's eminently important. And the tax year, this current tax year we're in right now, 2025, because as tax law is written right now, we're actually at lower rates today than we will be January 1st of 2026 if there's no changes in our tax law right now. So why not give us a call right now and start the process to see if there's something you could be doing to save in taxation while you still can, because right now we're still under the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2018, so we still have lower tax rates. But in January 1st of 2026, all of our tax rates across the board are going to hike up without any tax law changes. So, we do know that there are lots of proposals out there, but nothing has gone through yet. Yep. So as of today, we can take advantage of some lower tax rates, and it might be worth, doing something like a Roth conversion or meeting and seeing if you're taking the proper required minimum distribution this year, or if you wanted to wait till next year, if you just turned, the age of required minimum distribution eligibility. So, there's a lot that kind of fits into this plan, but know that we do have the opportunity to save before the year ends.
That's right. And we also look at other things like IRMA, and that's not your great aunt. That's actually it's your Medicare premiums.
Yeah.
And your Medicare premiums go up based on your income each year. So and it's a 2-year look back. So we try to do all of that planning and taking in consideration how is our planning going to affect your Medicare premiums going forward too? Because a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to be on Medicare, and they don't realize that there's an escalation of those premiums based upon how much income you have. And if you have non-taxable income coming in, you're going to save in your Medicare taxes as well. So if you saved at least $500,000 and you'd like to focus on taxes, give us a call at 314-207-6211. That's 314-207-6211, or hit us up at rickenfinancial.com. We'd love to have that chat.
Heidi, is it fair to say taxes are on sale right now? Is that fair to say? And is this something that we need to take advantage of sooner than later? Because we don't know how long this sale is going to last.
Absolutely. So right now, as I mentioned, the way that the tax law is currently written without any change, taxes are on sale for the rest of 2025. We're at a lower tax rate right now than we will be in January 1st of 2026. That being said, we have no idea. I wish I had a crystal ball, honestly, Mark. We have no idea how much our tax rates are going to be in the future.
Yeah.
And if you're on the brink of retirement, if you think about this right now, if you want to maintain your lifestyle in retirement, as Gerry mentioned, so often we were taught, save and save and save in these qualified accounts in your traditional IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457 plans. Take the tax break now because in the future, your taxation is going to be less. Well, in reality, if you want to maintain the same lifestyle in retirement as you were in your working years, taxation is different for retirees than it was for those who are just simply working right now. In that, you honestly sometimes have to take more income out just to produce the same amount of take-home pay that you were having while you were working because of the way that the tax law is written. So sometimes your tax rate's higher in retirement anyway. So if you're on the brink of retirement, you're going to retire in 2026, and what you're doing right now, you have some time to plan. You might be able to pay less tax in the future than you are, currently, just by making a couple tweaks. But it really is going to start with a conversation about where you are and where you want to be, and how you want your lifestyle to look in the future, and what you want to do with your time. Do you want to expand a travel budget? Do you need to right size or downsize the house? Do you need to buy a car in the coming future? Whatever this looks like, we need to have a conversation to see if your current plan is going to stand the test of time. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can make all the money in the world in the market, out of the market, however you're going to make your investments. And that's great. But what we look at is how much you get to keep in your pocket. Because what's most important for you is how much money you have after you pay the IRS in Missouri. And if you're in the St. Louis city, if you're still earning, at the end of the day, we want to know that your net amount after tax is what's going to stand the test of time. So give us a call at 314-207-6211. Let's see if we can help you plan and make sure that take-home pay is going to last.
Just remember, it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Talked to Gerry a couple of minutes ago about his why, his purpose, what it's like having his daughter by his side. But what about for you, Heidi? Not just working for your father, but also the challenges that you see every day customizing retirement plans.
Yeah, I love that question, Mark, because I love working with my dad. And I think some people in my life think it might be strange that my dad's one of my best friends. But you know what? They can keep thinking it's strange because it's so much fun when we get to work together. What you see on our social media, if you ever check it out, by the way, is authentically us. We are those people, and we have a lot of fun together. I also have learned so much. My dad mentioned earlier, when you get a degree in accounting, you become your family's unpaid tax preparer till your daughter joins you in business. And I'm abnormal. I love taxes. So when I joined him in business about 15 years ago, I took over managing our income tax practice where we prepare the tax returns for our clients. And that's become my wheelhouse. And I absolutely love planning for the future, by the way, because I hate the part where I'm just looking at the past as a historian and preparing the tax return. But I love planning for the future. And a lot of my tax knowledge began from my dad's love of taxes until he didn't love it as much anymore and wanted to focus his efforts elsewhere.
Right.
He's ingrained so much knowledge in me about not only our industry, but about how to better serve a community, because we don't just serve the community in our business every day. We serve it in different ways too, through a lot of philanthropic resources together as well. It's a joy to be working with him every single day. But I'll tell you, the most challenging part of my industry is that I'm one in a million, literally. About 2% of financial advisors are female. It's tough sometimes being a woman in this industry.
Yeah.
When you're working with men, a lot of them let their ego get in the way, but that's never been the case with my dad. He's always been here to prop me up to be the woman that he knew I was capable of being and to serve the community the way that he knew I was capable of serving. And to allow him to relinquish a little bit of control and let me, have my voice in this industry has been unbelievable. It was a challenge at first, I'm not going to lie, because when you kind of have been in the background for years and then all of a sudden you're in the forefront and you get to share your voice and you get to, be on stage at Invest in Women and, people are calling you and asking you if you can share your voice in different ways. It can be a little overwhelming, but when you have the support of someone like my dad behind you, you can take care of anything.
So, Gerry, was that tough for you? Was that a challenge for you too? Because part of you wants to let Heidi learn and grow and face those challenges and those speed bumps of this industry, a male-dominated industry. But then there's also part of you where the dad comes out where you want to protect her as well.
Well, Mark, it is a challenge, but with every challenge, I believe there's an opportunity. And when I saw this early on with Heidi, when she was a freshman in high school, she didn't know what lacrosse was. And by the time her senior year rolled around, she was the best goalie in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And she got Division I scholarship offers. In the state of Missouri, actually. In the state of Missouri.
Well, competitive.
Not just St. Louis, but in the entire state of Missouri. And she got D1 offers to play lacrosse. She opted out of that because she didn't want to be owned by the school she was going to. So I've seen her grow and develop from not knowing anything about something to excelling and being the first place number one in her sport.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in work as well in her career, because she came in, didn't know anything, and now, and slowly but surely, she gained the confidence. She is now the most confident person I've ever met. Her information that she knows exceeds mine now in taxation, and I'm so proud of that, because tax planning is what she focuses on as opposed to tax preparation.
Yeah.
Sure, she runs the tax practice. Part of that's preparation, but just making sure that everyone understands what opportunities there are out there. And, if you save $500,000 or more in your career and you think you'd like to maybe save taxes in retirement, reach out to us at 314-207-6211. That's 314-207-6211. We would love to sit down and talk with you, because Heidi will just explain in very, very simple terms, and so will I, what taxes mean and how we can reduce them in the future.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a pain to do all that stuff, and we want to put it in real world English for you. So don't worry, we're gonna take the heavy lifting off of you and do the hard work, and then we'll just explain it in plain English and make sure we all are on the same page and understand everything that we can understand to plan for your financial future. But, Dad mentioned death and taxes. We can't avoid those. So, hey, let's put a plan in place for them.
And the good thing here, to kind of put a bow on this conversation about the father-daughter relationship at Ricken Financial, it means that eventually, Gerry, you will retire. Eventually, not anytime soon. But if I'm working with you, I also know that Ricken Financial isn't going anywhere. And I think that means so much to adults.
That's right. That's right. We have a succession plan. The succession plan is that, yes, at one point in time, I will walk away. Right now, this feeds my soul so much that I don't want to walk away. And even when I do walk away, I may semi-retire, because how do you...
I always joke one day I'm just going to lock the door on him. Because I'm like, I don't think he'll ever actually retire. And people ask that question all the time. And I'm like, you know what? My dad doesn't even really fully enjoy when he goes on vacation, because this is what he loves so much that he's always keyed into our business and making sure that our clients are well taken care of no matter where he is in the world. And it's because our clients are our family, and you love them like our family, and you want to always make sure they're taken care of, which is honorable, but it's your purpose. Your purpose in this world right now is to serve our clients, and that feeds your soul every single day. And that is the very first conversation you have when you come meet with us. As Mark mentioned, when you meet with the two of us, my dad likens it to popping the hood to see if there's anything underneath your hood of your car. Before you get the diagnostic fee, we just want to pop the hood, make sure you're okay.
Right.
So when you come and meet with us, we want to pop the hood of your financial life, take a look at it all together, and have a conversation to see if there's anything we can do to assist you in your financial future. But the first conversation we have may seem a little abnormal to you, because it's not going to talk about money. It's going to talk about your purpose.
What feeds your soul? Now, what will feed your soul through retirement?
Because when you think about retirement, you're not working anymore.
Yeah.
It's this crazy phenomenon. You walk away from your job. And right now, if you're working, we hope that whatever you're doing truly does feed your soul and you feel like you love going to work every single day. If that's not the case, please call us at 314-207-6211. We'll see if we can help get you retired immediately.
Or find a different career path.
Or find a different career path because you deserve to do something every single day that makes you happy.
Yeah.
But when you go into retirement, you don't have that purpose of getting up every single morning and going to the office and doing what you're going to do. You need to figure out what your purpose is going to be. Are you going to be volunteering your efforts somewhere? Are you going to be taking care of grandchildren? There are so many different things you can do that will feed your soul in retirement, but without a plan, your retirement's going to fail because we don't want you to just waste away on the couch every single day. We want you to have a plan of what you want to do. And listen, if you're burned out and you need a month to just plop on the couch, we understand that. We'll plan for that. But we want to make sure the rest of your future has a plan of some sort in place there.
You often hear the phrase for what you do and how you serve the community of test driving a retirement. So do you find that people sometimes say, hey, I want to test this out to see if I'm really happy, just playing golf or doing a whole lot of nothing, or maybe I'm the person that maybe a full-time retirement isn't for me. I need to go get that part-time job. Test driving a retirement. How hard is it to put a strategy together for that?
It's really not difficult. What we do is we do a lot of listening. My mom always said, hey, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should listen twice as much as you speak.
Amen.
And that's very, very true in this industry as well. I believe in any form of business. You need to just listen and respond and make sure that you understand the needs of your clientele. So we want to understand where you are, where you want to be, and we can help you get there.
We're talking about some of the big hot topics that worry adults going into retirement: taxes, income, and Heidi, well, you said it, Social Security. Hot topic all over the news with adults worrying, will my benefits be dissolved? Will I have benefits? How much am I going to lose? What are you hearing, Heidi? And more importantly, how are you offering some advice to the families you serve?
Absolutely. So, Mark, Social Security has been all over the news lately. And more often than not, most of the conversations the starting point is, Heidi, is Social Security even going to be there for me? I've paid into this my entire working career, and I planned to have Social Security income in my retirement. Am I still going to be okay? And once again, I don't have a crystal ball, but right now, our country wants to do everything in its power to fix Social Security to make sure that we are going to be okay, because a majority of retirees stay above the poverty line thanks to their Social Security income. So my hope is that you're going to be okay. And we're still using it as a part of our planning, but we also want to make sure, God forbid something happens and it goes away, you're going to be okay as well. So we want to make sure we have an income plan in place in case there is a gap there and Social Security is decreased or even maybe away in the future. And we take a look at a lot of different components of Social Security, but the first one's going to be the million-dollar question when it comes to it. When do I draw my benefits out of this plan that I have worked and saved into my entire working career? So, if you have paid into Social Security, the first question is really going to be, okay, great. When do I take the benefit? And some people will say, I want to make sure I get as much of that system as possible. So I'm going to take it at 62 because I'm going to get the most money out of that system if I do that, because that's the first age you can take it. And spoiler alert, that is not the strategy for getting the most amount of income for Social Security unless you know exactly what day you're going to die, and it's going to happen before the age of 73. If you want to break even just on your own life and make the most amount of money out of the Social Security system as possible, if you're going to take it at age 62, you got to live. If you live beyond age 73, you took it too early. So, there's a lot of different components that fall into place here. But at the end of the day, your strategy needs to be in place for you to know when you're going to be taking Social Security. And if you're married, we really need to look at this holistically as an entire family before we decide what age is going to be the best age for you to draw your benefits. And if there's a lot of confusion out there, believe me, There is a lot of confusion
Yeah.
about Social Security. You can't show up at the Social Security Administration and ask them for help because they legally can't give you any advice. If you need some help planning for when it should fall into your plan, give us a call at 314-207-6211 and let's have a chat about Social Security. But, let's talk about it right now while we have the time.
We hold seminars for public seminars on occasion, and it really is remarkable how much information there is about Social Security. And we actually have an hour presentation on Social Security where we barely scratch the surface on all the topics that really everyone needs to know about Social Security. So suffice it to say, we've delved into Social Security with a really deep dive, and we can answer all those questions you have. And if we don't know the answer, we will find the answer for you. But one of the things that people are concerned about is, okay, my cousin took Social Security at 62. My brother-in-law took it at 67. And I think I'm going to retire at 67 because that's when the government says I can retire. The government has nothing to do with when you retire.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. I mean, they make up the full retirement age based on your date of birth, but that has nothing to do with when you can retire. You can retire at any point in time that it makes financial sense for you to retire. And your retirement date doesn't necessarily have to be, and it shouldn't be, based on when Social Security says you get the full retirement account. Your full retirement age, they say you get your full benefit at age 67, for instance. Well, what if you wait until age 70? That's when I believe, that's when the last time you can actually take it. It won't grow beyond that. But why not take it at age 70 if it makes sense? Because if it makes sense, if you're the higher wage earner in your family, we believe that you should defer as long as you can, as long as you have other assets to live on in the interim, because Social Security benefits grow at a rate of 8% guaranteed each year, plus the cost of living adjustment until age 70, from 66 to age 70. So if you're earning more than 8% guaranteed in a money market account right now, then you should take Social Security early. If you're not, you should wait on Social Security. That's the way we view it.
Yeah, we want to get the most return on investment from this investment that you paid into, because we view Social Security as something you invested in since you paid your money into it during your working years.
That's right.
So if you want to get the most out of Social Security,
we'd like you to call 314-207-6211 or look us up at rickenfinancial.com.
Absolutely. And that way we can have a conversation with you and make sure your family is set up with the best strategy to gain the most amount of income out of Social Security. And when that income comes to you, here's the other question that's always pressing in all of the meetings that we have with our prospects and our clients alike. And that is, well, how does the tax work? Because the first common misconception we come across, a lot of people think since they've paid Social Security tax in during their working years, and since it was a tax during your working years, that when you receive benefits, it's not going to be taxable to you. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the reality. If you're single and you make more than $25,000 a year, or you're married and your income is more than $32,000 a year, this is a convoluted income stream, by the way, that only falls in with Social Security. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but basically take half of how much you're making from Social Security and add all the rest of your income to it. And if it's over $25,000 and you're single, or over $32,000 and you're married, you're going to pay tax on Social Security. So at the end of the day, most people we meet with are going to have to pay some form of tax on their Social Security income when it's coming into you. So the $1 million question is, how does that fall into my tax plan? How do I know when to take the benefit? Because here's another hidden tax. If you retire before your full retirement age, so say your full retirement age is age 67, great, you can pull streams of income that are not your earnings, but income from other, forms of income like a pension, real estate, that kind of, your investments, anything like that. And there are no tax confines in it. But if you're going to keep working and you want to draw your Social Security benefits, you actually cannot do that without tax consequences if you're under your full retirement age. So sometimes we have conversations with people and they say, well, I just want to take the benefits to get the most amount out of the system right now, and I'm just going to keep working too. That's great if it falls into your plan and it's not going to cause a tax issue for you. And if that's something that you kind of want to plan for because maybe you don't know what you want to do with your time in retirement, or you just really love what you're doing on a daily basis and you want to keep doing it, and you're concerned about the solvency of Social Security, call us at 314-207-6211 because we want to make sure that what you're doing is not going to be paid back in the form of taxes or taken away from you from your benefits and your Social Security, because you've worked so hard to save and to retire one day that by the time you retire, we don't want your benefits taken away.
Gerry, Heidi, as always, thank you for the information and the education this weekend. But before we get out of here, take us home.
Every day is a holiday.
Life is short, laugh hard.
This has been Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Tax preparation and tax advisory services are offered through Ricken Financial. These services are not offered by IPW and are not subject to investment advisor requirements. These services referenced are an outside business activity not offered through or supervised by IPW.